Apologies, for some reason my voice has gone today. It wasn't planned. Firstly, hi, I'm Will. I'm animation director from Blue Zoo. I see a couple of faces who have been before. Does anyone know who we are first? Fantastic, that's a lot of blank faces. So Blue Zoo is an animation company that specializes in children's preschool animation. And we've been going on now for about 18 years. Last year we won a BAFTA for Best Production Company in the UK. So we're pretty good. So if you want to check out our Showreel, come and have a look. We've got a website, have a look on there. And show of hands, how many animators are here? Hey, there's a few of you, that's cool. That's cool. Sorry, I sound really squeaky. It's really, I'm sorry. So Daniel, I met you earlier. This is his reel, and he's let me sort of kindly pick it apart in front of all you guys. So normally when I do animation reviews, there's a lot less people in a room, but it's kind of similar to what we're doing now. So for a show I worked on previously called Go Jetters, we had 6 animators and me in a room. So you 6 there would sit and look at a big screen, and then I would do the same thing that I'm doing now, but with less people. So this is kind of like an industry situation. So quite cool for you guys to be a part of that. That's quite nice. This is a title card. For those who don't know, title card. All it needs to do is have your name on it and your email address. All the rest of the stuff probably isn't necessary. It's great that you can use Maya. What's this one? Yes, I've never used that. But it's great that we can see the software that you're using, but if you're an animator, we know that you're using 3D animation software. Don't need to see all the rest of it. Also, Daniel, your mobile number is now on the internet for everyone to see, to use, to send you stuff. So that's why, just your name and your email address on a title card is kind of all you need, because you don't want to pick your, but you've done it now. But just a heads up. But yeah, nice title card. For animators, never have an animation on your title card. Never do that, because it's detracting from what's important, which is your email address. You just want your name and email address. Don't tart it up with anything that isn't needed.
Wow! I mean, that was close. We can laugh about it now. We're all right,
Right, I'm going to stop it there. So music on the showreel is okay. Normally what recruiters do is not really have their headphones on and have it on mute when they're watching stuff. They're normally listening to a podcast or the radio or something else. They're never really listening to what they do unless they see lip sync. So I guess it's different for the modelers, I don't know. But apparently not. So music isn't normally important, but if your showreel is cut to the music, that's different. That shows you've got a nice editing side to your skills, which is quite cool. But I would say maybe not have music on your showreel, because no one's going to hear it. Also, if you are having music on, you don't want some dubstep stuff, some proper banger, because that might put a recruiter off. Or if you just want something pleasant. So yeah, your music, nondescript, really nice. That's good. Don't sort of put your favorite song on, your favorite thrash metal hit. Just something, if you are doing it. And the good thing that you've done is that you've lowered it for the lip sync. So if you are putting music on, make sure you can hear the lip sync, because otherwise you can't hear it. So that's pretty cool.
Wow! I mean, that was close. We can laugh about it now. We're all right,
So this is funny. It's always good to try to get humor in the first shot of your showreel. A big top tip that I have is that it's kind of the first 10 seconds is all you're really going to get to make an impact on a showreel, well, especially for animation. If you haven't put your best piece of work forward in your first shot, the recruiter may or not carry on watching it. So you want to hook them in straight away with what you're doing. So you need to start with something. This is a good shot. It's funny. It's like, you get it. So it's good. So start with something which is a bang and gets the recruiter wanting to carry on watching. Your biggest task as an animator or trying to get a job in the industry is to stand out from the rest of the animators who are also competing for the same job. And the way to do that is to have a bam, sit up, watch moment in a showreel, your first shot. So your first shot has to be the best shot in your showreel. Full stop. Remember that. That has to be the best bit.
Wow! I mean, that was close. We can laugh about it now. We're all right, you know.
So if this shot, if I was doing this on a live daily review, my first comment would be that the hand that he's holding the helmet with, if you look at the helmet hand, his left hand, screen right hand, it stays in the same kind of rigid position.
I mean, that was close. We can laugh
The whole
about it now.
time.
We're all right.
Even when it picks the helmet back up again, it's the same sort of position as it was previous. So what would have been nice is a bit more sort of gesturing with that hand, a bit more, oh, woo, I nearly died. Look at this. So yeah, that was sort of the first thing I noticed. It looked a little bit stiff. It would have been nice if there's a bit more. Also, is his hand in world space, chest space? I guess it's an IK hand.
It's yeah, it's an IP hand.
Yeah. Is it in? Does it follow the root? Does it follow the chest, or is it sort of doing its own thing? Sorry, nerdy question for no one who doesn't understand that.
I believe it moves independently.
Okay. Yeah. It looks like it moves independently. So there are places where the sort of the hand
I mean,
stops
that was close.
and feels like it's moving. I can't even do it, but like it's moving and the body is kind of doing its own thing. So you kind of want to have, if you are using IK hands for this sort of stuff, you want to have at least follow the chest so you can get a bit of what's it for free, so it doesn't look like it gets stuck.
We can laugh about it now. We're all right, you know.
I like the acting on that. It's sort of, it gets across of what's happening, you know what's happening, that's really nice. The acting choices are really cool.
I mean, that was close.
Lip sync could be a little bit somewhere to improve on. Have you done much lip sync before? No. Yeah. So if I think it takes a lot of time to sort of get lip sync and so what you're doing. What I'd say is
I mean, that was close. We can laugh about it now. We're all right.
yeah. So something that well, I've noticed in some other students, I've been a few unis that do this. Lip sync has the same principles as all the other animation that you have. So the 12 principles: squash and stretch, arcs, eases. There's 12. I've got 3. I can't remember the rest. But when you're doing lip sync, make sure you're tracking the arcs at the corner of the mouth. Make sure you're easing and easing out of poses. You do moving holds in lip sync as well. It's not something that's separate. It still has the same rules. So remember to put them in. So when you're doing the lip sync and stuff. Animators, and have you all read the Richard Williams Animated Survival? Basically that. Just do that. Practice that. Keep practicing that stuff in there. That will get you through all of lip sync. Is that book? I'm just gonna see how long your reel is. So about a minute. So that's a good length for a reel. A minute is good. But what you've done is you've got your fighting acting shot, and then you've put in your reference and your fighting acting shot again. So it's kind of like twice in your reel. So you don't necessarily need to show your reference. But you've kind of done that throughout your stuff. What matters is that the animation is the stuff that matters. It doesn't matter where you got your inspiration from or your references or whatever. It's just good to see that you have some solid animation in your work. But I guess you've got a job at running at the mill anyway. So obviously they saw something in there as well. So that's cool. But I showed before I knew that I showed. your reel to other animators at work, other directors and stuff, and they had the same sort of comment, which was like, oh, you know, you don't need to show your reference, don't need to see that. It's just all about the animation. So I would say just for everyone else out there, just focus your reel on the animation, not where you got your inspiration from, because then it's kind of like showing off where it's not copying it, it's using it as reference, but it's just showing where you got it from. I'd rather just see the finished product rather than sort of, you know, you're working out, which is kind of what a reference is. So there's just a couple of little things in the body mechanics. This blue guy's foot, I know did Bruce Lee do it in his little, hang on, just have a look at Bruce Lee. Oh wow, there's a quick foot, isn't it? Look at that. It was just, oh, you can't see all my fingers pointing. So this foot here, through that little moment there where it's sort of tappy, 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 tapper. Animation is about weight in the characters and trying to show weight and stuff. He looks very light on his feet there because he's sort of tippy-tappering around. So I guess he's lacking a little bit of weight in his little foot there. You know, the annoying thing is, in your reference, it's actually, is it covering it up with the corner of the thigh? Yeah, his foot is tippy-tapping. But I mean, it looks like it's hovering and floating. There. Another thing is that you've got motion blur on your rendering as well. I guess that's an argument whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. But if there wasn't motion blur on it, we would be able to see your poses clearer. So because this leg kind of doesn't exist past down the shin because of the motion blur. So what I would say is if you are putting a reel together, maybe don't have motion blur so it shows off your poses clearer for someone to see. But it's not a bad thing, it's just easier to sort of see stuff and go through it. So walk cycles are fun. I don't know much about quadruped rigs because we don't really have that many where we work. But there are a few little. Do cheetahs have elbows? Do they just have knees? I don't know. Sort of elbow pops on this sort of. It's a touch screen. Oh. Can you frame by? No, I can't frame it. So, yeah, by elbow pops, I mean there's sort of the spacing there. So this elbow here, the spacing on it suddenly increases quite quickly. So you need to make sure that the elbow. It's hard to.
You want to go for the music.
I can't frame by frame it, but so when you're doing walks, so same with bipedal characters with their knees and stuff, you have to watch out for knee popping. So whenever you walk, your knee is pretty much almost bent all the time. You never really hyperextend your leg because it would hurt if you do that. So always make sure there's a slight little bend in things, unless you are really extreming for something. But a casual walk, you don't hyperextend a knee. Another thing, you've also got motion blur again, which sort of is hard to sort of spot things. There's a little click in their shoulder. Also, the cat feels like it's sort of quite low down. Is it prowling? What's it? Is it just a nice little walk to the river? I don't know.
Yeah.
Just a nice
walk.
Good. Okay. Yeah. So I know I just said, like, you know, you're supposed to have a little bend in your knee. This one feels like it's sort of properly crouching down, and it needs to be a little bit higher. just so it doesn't feel so weighted down. Walk cycles on a reel are good. It's great. Stick one on, that's fine. But don't make a reel of walk cycles. It's great that you can do one. It's great for like body mechanics. Like I think there's a couple on it, which is good. But like if you sort of see walk cycle after walk cycle, that's sort of not good, no good for a recruiter. They want to see a range of talents that you can do, rather than just sort of walk cycles. So this is really nice. The only thing I would say is we don't need to see the reference, because where are we supposed to sort of, are we supposed to look up here or here? If it's just about the animation, we'd be looking at that, and we wouldn't be looking at the reference and sort of like, oh, so that's where he got that from, pick that from. So put your animation front and center in a show reel, because that's what it's doing. You're basically showcasing your skills as an animator. So this fella, he's lacking sort of a little bit of twist in his sort of hips and his chest. He sort of feels quite stiff. It'd be nice if there was sort of a bit of rotation going on, especially in those back hips. He looks quite tensed and angry. Gorillas, you've got a nice, slow, powerful walk. You know, he feels like a big, strong guy, but you know, they're also quite jiggly and loose in places, not all tense. So just maybe a little bit of rotation in the bottom and top. I suppose they have a chest, don't they? It's a monkey. And then through this bit, I know that you've copied exactly what the reference has done, because that's what you're supposed to do, really. But he looks very linear through here, so he's moving quite straight through that top half. Even if the reference might have it in, animation is all about arcs. All humanoids, creature stuff moves on an arc. So even if it isn't quite in the reference, even though it is real life, it needs to be slightly pronounced in that moment there, just to sort of make it look less robotic and to get that little twist in there. He looks well moody. Look at him. And then of course, yeah, end of a title card. That just is the same sort of thing again, just your name and your email address. But yeah, always have a beginning title card and an end title card, because a recruiter, if they like your reel, will watch it all the way through, will pause it at the end and like, right, them, and then send you an email. So don't annoy them by going to the front. Again, I know it's small stuff, but like, you want to make it easy for the recruiter. Don't make it difficult for them to find your name and your email address. Make their job really easy. Thanks.